Hey guys, if you didn't already know, this podcast contains frank and factual discussions about sexual health, pleasure, and responsibility. So listener discretion is advised.
Cherry blossom kiss, what you giving? Makes my body rock, keeps me sizzling. Do what you want, I don't care. I'll be your lollipop.
You can lick me everywhere. Juicy fruit.
You're so
Juicy.
Hey everybody, it is Goody o'clock and you are here with a good 15 with Goody Howard. I am Goody Howard. That would be me. So today, this is a podcast where we're talking about sexual health, pleasure, responsibility, and all things in between. Today, we are going to talk about flavor. We are going to talk about how you are what you eat and how what you eat becomes what you are and how you taste and all the things like that. So I want to talk to you guys about that because a lot of times we feel like when you hear about the pineapples and the strawberries and all that stuff, it's more geared toward the fellas. Like, oh, this will help you, taste better. This will help you be sweeter and this thing, that. Listen, it'll never be delicious. That's just the reality of life. But you can definitely help take the work out of the job. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today are just about how what you eat, what you drink, and what you smoke and what you put into your body affects what comes out of your body and how you taste. So the thing is that what you eat is for men and women. So ladies, the pineapples, the strawberries, the apples, and all that stuff, that's for us as well. It helps your wetness. It helps everything be sweeter. It's not going to ever taste like apples and pineapples. What happens is the fructose and sucrose levels of the things you ingest make your bodily fluids sweeter. So that'll make them less bitter, less strong, less pungent, and things like that. So the stuff that you want to focus on is going to be pineapples, apples, grapes, celery, parsley, mangoes, oranges, and green tea. Stuff like that has a really great effect on the way you taste. And this is about like the way your kisses taste as well as how your sex tastes. I've talked about this in another podcast, but water is a really, really big thing. Being hydrated affects the way you taste as well because it affects the concentration of your wetness. It affects the concentration of your ejaculate. It affects the quality of your erections. It just has so many moving parts in how it affects the way your body moves and works that it directly affects the way your sex feels too. So some things that you may not have known that you need to stay away from: asparagus, garlic, onions, red meat, beer, coffee, alcohol, and smoking. Now, I will say that I love everything on this list except alcohol and beer. So you can do it all in moderation and just kind of balance out with fresh fruits and vegetables. If you're drinking pineapple juice or drinking fruit juices, I would say throw them in the juicer. Don't go get the kind that's at the store because it's been so processed that your body doesn't really get what it needs from it. But throwing it in the juicer, have a smoothie, whatever the case may be, it'll definitely affect the way even your kisses taste. Your kisses will be sweeter because all of your bodily fluids are affected by what you eat and drink. When I get to talking about like beer and alcohol and coffee, the thing about beer and alcohol is that beer and alcohol has a drying effect. It has a dehydrating effect on your body. And so how we talked about hydration, if you're taking in cocktails and liquor and beer and it's drying you out, it's going to have an adverse effect on your sex, on your kisses, on your erections, clitoral and penile erections. Okay, so don't get it twisted. This is not just for the fellas. Alcohol dries you out, and erections are blood flow. Blood flow is directly connected to your hydration. So if you're dehydrated, the quality of your erection is not going to be the same. So yeah, you may be able to get hard. Yeah, you may be able to get wet. You can still have sex or whatever if you're drunk, because drunk sex is great. We all know this. But it could be even better if you were hydrated before you got drunk. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely important to pay attention to your intake. Having beer and things like that, the hoppiness, the intake of all those different grains and things that go into making beer directly affects the way you taste. It creates a bitterness. And that's why onion and garlic and things like that, it creates a bitterness. So it's not going to be like a disgusting kind of thing, but it'll make it salty. It'll make it more bitter, make it more pungent. So the fruit kind of directly offsets that. The quickest, easiest way that I get my fruit in every day, because I do eat pineapples and strawberries every day, I go to the farmer's market, buy up a bunch of locally sourced fruit and vegetables. I clean them, peel them, cut them, and I put them in Ziploc bags. Like I make the little smoothie recipe in the Ziploc bag. So it'll be blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, or pineapple and mango. And it'll be in the Ziploc bag ready to go. I put it in the freezer. When I get up in the morning, I just dump the contents of the Ziploc bag into my little 1-cup blender, and I have my smoothie in the morning. I've gotten all my fruits and vegetables or whatever for my sweetness, because I have to keep it together. I don't just talk about it, I be about it, right? So in a way, in an effort to kind of make sure that I'm making sure that I'm the sweetest that I can be, I just kind of, I roll like that. Plus, I'm very orally fixated. And so when you do have a good fruit balance, and you'll know when you taste good, because your mouth will taste a little bit sweeter by itself. Like just, know your just natural flavor of your mouth will be a little bit sweeter as well. And then you'll know that you're on the right track. Now, we're talking about smoking. Let me tell y'all something. I know that might hit a nerve with a couple of people. But listen to me when I'm telling you, I'm not talking about weed. Now, I can't speak on meth and crack and shit like that, but I'm talking about cigarettes. I'm talking about cigars. I'm talking about hookah. Now, the biggest point of the reason that cigarettes and smoking affect the way you taste is because all the poisons and stuff and the toxins associated and rolled into the creation of cigarettes have a direct effect on your blood flow and your circulation and how you taste, right? But also, nicotine has a bitterness to it that directly translates to your saliva, your blood, and your secretions. All your bodily fluids are directly influenced by the bitterness of nicotine. And that's why I added cigars and hookah to the mix, because 1 hour of hookah is like smoking 3 packs of cigarettes, because there are no filters on all those little pipes. Those little mouthpieces are only mouthpieces. They do not have filters in them. Okay. So you might as well just be eating cigarettes at this point. That's what that's akin to. Cigars are rolled with nicotine leaves as well, and there are no filters on cigars either. So 1 cigar is the equivalent of 1 pack of cigarettes. So that is what's happening in your body. You don't inhale cigars, so it's a little bit differently, but you're still exposing it to your mucous membranes and your saliva membranes and things like that. And so it does still get into your blood flow, right? So smoking cigarettes, cigars, and hookah directly affect the way you taste, but they also directly affect the quality of your erections. What, Goody? Shut up. For real, girl? Yes. Check it out. Nicotine restricts blood vessels. Okay. It calcifies the blood vessels, which controls how much blood each vessel takes in. And clitoral erections and arousal points are all based in circulation and blood flow. Okay. So when your nipples get hard, it's because the blood flow has changed in them. When you start kissing and stuff and your mouth just feels like this amazing part of your body, it's because the blood flow has changed direction as in your mouth. When your erections, when your penis gets hard, when your clitoris gets hard, it's because the blood flow in that area has increased. So when you're smoking and intaking nicotine into your body, and it's calcifying the blood vessels in a way that it doesn't allow them to fill up with blood to their capacity, the quality of your erections changes. So yeah, you're still getting hard, you're still getting it in, you're still fucking, you're still getting fucked, but it's not to the same level that it would have been had you not smoked those cigarettes, had you not had that cigar or that hookah. Now, I don't know how long it takes from the time you smoke to the time it affects your blood vessels. I don't know how much exposure, or like if you smoke on Monday, will it affect your erection for Monday night, or will it affect Friday's erection? Like, I'm not quite sure the timetable on that, but I do know that direct intake of nicotine affects the way the blood vessels fill up, right? Also, I don't know how long it takes for that damage to subside. So if you quit smoking in June, will your erections in August be of better quality? I'm not sure. My general rule of thumb is 90 days for anything. So like if you smoke weed, give yourself 90 days before you take a drug test. Stuff like that. The general rule of thumb, I think, is 90 days, just because typically your body takes 90 days to replenish itself. It takes 90 days to form a sperm cell. So the ejaculate that you gave out on this Wednesday was already created in your body back in July. You know what I'm saying? So the typical cycle of the body is about a 90-day rotation. So give yourself 90 days to see a change. If you stop smoking, give yourself 90 days to kind of see a change in your quality of your erections. If you started smoking or you're still smoking, just kind of pay attention to how it is now versus how it'll be if you decide to stop. Don't stop smoking for 2 days and be like, Miss Goody, that's not true because my dick is the same. It don't feel no different. Listen, nothing changes in 2 days but the weather if you live in Texas. But that's just like, that's not enough time. You need to be patient and pay attention to your body. Another thing that's great for affecting the way you taste and all those things is exercise. And I say this, you know, I don't mean, you know, you have to go to the gym or anything like that. You can go for a walk. Just sit outside. When you do exercise, your body begins to become more oxygenated, and oxygenated blood travels more quickly. It helps make circulation more efficient and things like that. And so it's important to be oxygenated and hydrated. Okay. So then you have the perfect storm for amazing erections. You have the perfect storm for better circulation and arousal and things like that. I'm not sure of where you guys are in the world when you're listening to this, but there are oxygen bars. And I know it sounds crazy, but an oxygen bar is a thing, and it's a bar and you go in and you get oxygen, and they can like put different scents in the oxygen to help with calming or focus or relaxation, etc. And you can pick any of those things that you may need in your life in that given time, right? But the key is the oxygen. If you go to an oxygen bar and get some oxygen and go home and have sex, you'll notice a difference immediately, just in the way, because your body is oxygenated in a way that you can't get from just breathing air. Okay. So the way your body is oxygenated changes with the level of physical activity that you have, that you participate in, and what you eat, what you drink, and all that good stuff. So if you do, like I talked about in another podcast, if you do the 14-day challenge where you just drink water, no milk, no soda, no juice, no liquids, nothing except water. You can eat what you want, but just focus on the water. By day 10 or 11, you'll notice a change in the way your body feels, the way your eyeballs, like you're feel so much more hydrated, your eyeballs, your mouth, everything will feel much more fluid, and you'll notice a better quality of erection and a better quality of your sex. So when it's time to get wet, ladies, you'll notice a difference immediately. Even if you were like a super circle before, Aquafina, wet, waterfall, whatever you want to call it, that's great. Congratulations. However, if you're hydrated, you'll notice a change in that too. You'll notice a change in the way your clit feels when you're aroused. You'll notice a change in the way the sex actually feels while you're having it. Fellas, you'll notice a difference in the way your penis feels, the quality of the erection, the firmness, the texture of the ejaculate. All of those things will be different. Even your balls will feel different because the seminal fluid and all of that stuff will be comprised of more water. So all of that stuff will feel different to you, and it'll be amazing. So once you do the water challenge, go ahead and email me, askgoody@gmail.com. Tell me how it went for you. Comments, questions, concerns. I'm going to be answering questions here on the podcast too. So you guys email me your questions at askgoody@gmail.com. You can find me at askgoody on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. My website is askgoody.com. You can find me there. If you want to book me for a speaking engagement, a toy party, panel discussion, workshop presentation, sex ed for your kids, sex ed for adults, you have a dinner party, Battle of the Sexes dinner party, and you want me to come host or moderate that, I do all those things. Get at me on askgoody.com. I look forward to talking to you guys again. This has been it for this episode of A Good 15 with Goody Howard. And until next time, be good or be good at it.